Right now, I'm joined by Ian Macdonald, spokesperson for the Surrey Police Service. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for inviting.
What can you tell us, first of all, about this shooting that took place on Saturday?
Yeah, I have a couple of updates. It was actually me that issued the statement saying that it had the earmarks of extortion but had not yet been classified as such. I've talked to investigators and it now has been deemed an extortion. So not only the earmarks, it's confirmed as an extortion incident. Also, people might be aware that there was a worker working on the exterior of that home that was injured. And we're not sure if it was a result of debris or whether it was a result of a bullet fragment. But nonetheless, a male was injured on scene, transported to hospital. I'm happy to report that he remained in good spirits, is in stable condition, and is being treated for non-life-threatening injuries.
Okay, that is good to know that that he is being treated, that person is being treated. How many cases of extortion does that make this now in Surrey?
So we've had 94 extortion incidents, and of that, 43 had related shots fired.
Okay. We covered the Caps Cafe shooting back in October, and at that time, there were 65 extortion-related cases. So that's just an increase over the last month. Why do you think these cases keep escalating, despite all the efforts, all the announcements when it comes to the task force, to a phone number, to additional resources? Why do you think these cases keep escalating?
Well, I think part of the answer is in what you just offered. The fact that there is an extortion tip line, the fact that there has been Crime Stoppers advertisements encouraging people to come forward, as well as engagement by SPS officers with over 1,000 businesses in Surrey.
So you're saying it was underreported before?
Well, what I'm saying is I think it's a combined result. Part of it is the fact that there were people that were reluctant to come forward, and there's strength in numbers. And so as more people come forward, good, bad, or otherwise, as there's more reporting about the incidents taking place, people are coming forward. The other thing, and you used Caps Cafe as an example, and so I'll reference that, we do have incidents where extortion attempts are repeated. So we don't necessarily have unique victims, but we have people, once they feel that that conduit of connection to police to report, that if they report once, they feel a lot more comfort in continuing that reporting and updating police on what's transpiring and what engagement they've had or continuing engagement they've had with the extortionists.
Okay, because Caps Cafe was shot at 3 times, yeah.
Correct. And so I don't want to downplay the fact that this is troubling, that the numbers are increasing, but I do want to emphasize that we do want that reporting, and some of it is as a result of the same complainant victim reporting on numerous occasions. And I think you alluded to it. In some cases, we have people that might not have taken the matter as seriously, maybe even received some text messages or contacts back in 2024, but as a result of what's now transpired in 2025, are more inclined to report, and we welcome them coming forward.
So why do you think Mayor Brenda Locke is calling for 150 more police officers to deal with this then? What difference would that make?
Well, I think we need to break down the request, and so I don't want to put words in the mayor's mouth. I know that she wants the best for Surrey, and obviously at a time when we see these extortion numbers and the impact on families and businesses, she wants it to end, as we all do. But really, the request, if you think about it in terms of the law enforcement resourcing, it isn't just the Surrey Police Service working alone. We're not working in a silo. We're collaborating not only with other jurisdictions in the Lower Mainland and with that provincial task force, but also with federal policing units. And so when you're talking about bolstering law enforcement, I believe the mayor's request is for all of that to be bolstered. And so you start talking about federal policing units that might be angled or targeting organized crime. You're talking about financial investigative policing units. You're talking about a lot of different things that can impact what we know is a multi-jurisdictional and has indications of some international crime involvement. And so to resource that properly, I believe the mayor is advocating that all of those levels of law enforcement from the federal, provincial, and municipal level to be bolstered.
Okay, so that 150 number, if I'm hearing you right, that would not just be for Surrey Police Service?
I don't believe that is the mayor's intention at all. You can get clarification from her, but certainly the reference that I saw to when she made that comment was how a lot of those resources would be actually RCMP controlled, and so through federal policing units, through CFSCU, through E-Division. We're not talking about taking 150 uniformed officers and just placing them throughout the city. We're talking about taking experienced, knowledgeable officers who are familiar with international crime, familiar with organized crime, and familiar with financial crime, working at all different levels and connecting with each other.
Okay. Just a couple more questions for you. We've also heard about 3 people who have been deported in relation to extortion investigations. How do those concur or compete with criminal investigations here? Can you take me through that a little bit?
Yeah, well, CBSA is one of the partners that's working on the Provincial Extortion Task Force. And so that interconnectivity and the combining of efforts is probably best exemplified by that. And I want to say that I understand the frustration in the community. I understand that anytime you have brazen events like these shootings, you want it to stop. But you have to realize that from a law enforcement standpoint, we have to gather evidence. And whether that's CBSA, whether that is detective units working at SPS or part of the provincial task force, we have to coordinate our efforts to make sure that we're not trampling on any other investigations. And where we can, find the interconnectivity and find the common purpose. And so I think that CBSA announcement on Friday is an excellent example. There's not very many people that would have known that CBSA and the task force had identified 80+ individuals as persons of interest. But as soon as the deportations were announced, they were also able to say there's another 78 individuals that are on their radar.
What would that mean for any charges here?
Yeah, so that's my point, is that despite the number of charges that may have to this point met with charge approval, people need to know and hopefully feel some assurance from the fact that you have multi-levels of law enforcement, coordinated law enforcement, working on intricate but often interconnected investigations. And so much like CBSA demonstrated on Friday, I would argue that you're going to see similar examples of that start to roll out from the provincial task force as well as from the individual departments in the Lower Mainland. You will see more charges, you will start to see that interconnectivity, and you will see all of those agencies working together to deal with the problem, whether that means arrest and charge here, or in the case of CBSA, Immigration and Deportation Act enforcement.
Okay, and lastly, there are videos that make their rounds on social media. There's one that purports to be from Saturday's shooting. We have not verified these videos, but they do make it out into the community. What attempts are being made to verify these, to find out who is shooting them or who is filming these supposed shootings?
Yeah, so obviously anything that is posted online we have awareness of, but as you alluded to, we need to corroborate it. So part of our investigative team is tasked with that. And what I want to say is, I know that the Swift Radio person that was on a little bit earlier was talking about how there's almost a template. And what we've seen quite commonly in many of these, especially the shootings, is that a video will be released. Regrettably, you might have multiple parties claiming responsibility. And so that's where it becomes the task of law enforcement to verify the video is legitimate and then to properly source who is responsible as well as who's disseminating the video.
Ian Macdonald, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.